one item of old business, because this Thursday night opener reminded me of it. Yesterday we were talking about the ultimate deadline for the 49ers to get Jimmy Garoppolo off the roster before they owe him his full salary for this year. I've determined that it's 4 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, September 10. And I thought of that now. And again, I'm not trying to jinx Matthew Stafford or Josh Allen in the opener, but it's another reason for the 49ers to keep him, because there's a football game that counts that is played before the Jimmy Garoppolo salary becomes fully guaranteed. And if something should happen, I'm not saying which team or which quarterback, if something should happen in that opening game, you got Friday to do a trade. And I know somebody said to me yesterday, well, the team may not have cap space. Well, you know what? You make cap space. You renegotiate the contract. You got a day to get it done. It's all the more reason. Because, again, there's this thought that the 49ers are going to cut him on August 30, 3 weeks from today, when the rosters go to 53. I think if you're that committed to this bit, Chris, you play it all the way up.
I do too.
Until 3:59 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, September 10, because there is a game that counts 2 days before.
Yeah, I agreed there. I do. I guess the only thing, the only thing that I think that maybe throws a wrench into that plan is, if there's some availabilities that are out there, and then the 49ers can't, come to trade terms with Garoppolo, right? Or trade terms with that football team. Maybe they don't like what they're being offered. Are the 49ers, that's where I get into, like, well, what's going to happen there? Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to make an issue? Because he's going to be like, wait, I want to get out of here. I don't want to be here. So that's the only way I could see that kind of going, the wrong way or sideways, for lack of a better way to say it, is if something like that happened. Hey, there's a team or two out here who need a quarterback. They flirted with trading for Jimmy G, but the price tag's too much, and they're just not going to do it. And now Jimmy G's antsy and like, wait, I want to get out of here. I want to go play. I don't even care about the $25 million. I got a chance to go play. And maybe that becomes a distraction. Shanahan already alluded to it's awkward as is anyways a little bit, having him around the building, and they're doing their best. So that would be the only way. But I'm with you, Mike. If that doesn't happen, you ride that to the end. And I've seen that happen before, even in my own playing career, with some of these veteran players that, you knew were going to get cut at some point, but you're hoping some team might trade for him.
I think back to 2016, Teddy Bridgewater has that torn ACL. The Vikings go into full-on desperation mode. And I remember Rick Spielman bemoaning the fact that everyone knew that they had a need, and no one was going easy on them. They ended up giving up a first-round pick and a fourth-round pick to the Eagles for Sam Bradford so the Eagles could go forward with Carson Wentz, which seemed like a good idea at the time. Not that Sam Bradford lasted that much longer either, but the Vikings were so desperate to move forward with someone they felt good about at quarterback, they gave up a 1 and a 4 to make it happen. So I think that's why the 49ers are doing what they're doing now. The point is, there's no reason to end it 3 weeks from today, because a lot can still happen between August 30 and September 10, including a regular season game that will have 2 starting quarterbacks facing a live defense with no red jerseys, no quick whistles. Well, sometimes you see quick whistles, which is good. We want to keep the quarterbacks healthy, but that's going to be an opportunity for somebody to get injured. So why would you? I mean, the dumbest thing you could do if you're the 49ers is cut Jimmy Garoppolo on Wednesday the 7th and then watch the game on the 8th, and there goes the starting quarterback, and we could have traded Jimmy Garoppolo after all.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I think that's exactly right, and that's why they will wait to the end. They'll find a way to finagle the roster and figure some of those things out, but they seem hell-bent on trying to make something happen, trying to get something back for Jimmy G. I think it goes back to something you said really from the start, that there was a master plan here, at least in the Shanahan-Lynch mind, and it didn't come to fruition. And yeah, they're gonna hold tight with this and see what happens. I had somebody, I've heard a lot of people like float the ideas of, like, with that trade, back at that time with the whole draft pick and all of that maybe the plan was, right? I have people ask me this sometimes. Do you think the plan was to make it look like Mac Jones at number 3, and really that wasn't intended, but they wanted it to be that way? So New England at that time would go, oh, wait, okay, we're not going to get Mac Jones. We don't have a quarterback, so let's trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. And I never really thought about that. I've had some people bring that to my attention. Maybe Shanahan was doing something like that. Maybe I'm unaware. I'm not going to buy that, but I do have people like on radio and things like that ask me, little theories like that from time to time.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Putting out the false idea that
Right.
they traded up to number 3 to get Mac Jones instead of what some have heard, that, including you, that they really wanted Mac Jones, but it was about moving Jimmy Garoppolo, and then but they ended up starting him and almost making it to the Super Bowl with him last year. It's just been a weird situation. They have handled the quarterback position in such a weird way for an elite team. I can't remember a time when an elite team has made so many mistakes at the quarterback position, from passing on Patrick Mahomes to trading for Jimmy Garoppolo instead of waiting for Kirk Cousins. People say, oh, God, Kirk Cousins. You and I agree. They'd have a Super Bowl win or two if they had gotten Kirk Cousins. Despite the limitations of Kirk Cousins, Kyle Shanahan would have made it work.
Yeah, and he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Said no thank you to Tom Brady.
Right.
Said no thank you to Tom Brady when Brady wanted to come home and play for his 49ers. And then this whole thing of you trade up to number 3 and you don't really know who you're going to take, and then you keep Jimmy Garoppolo and he plays all year, and we don't see anything from Trey Lance. When we do, he's injured, and now we're on the brink of the best thing they've done, and it still isn't all that new in the grand scheme of things. We're 2 weeks since they finally had this realization. We just got to go all in with Trey Lance.
Yeah,
he's never going to get any better if we continue to cling to this idea that maybe he's not ready and we're going to stick with Jimmy G. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, there seems like there was some I'm with you in the fact that you kind of called this from the beginning. There's some overcompensation maybe from some of the misses and or things that they didn't do that they wish they did, and maybe that's why they were so aggressive in trading up to spot number 3. The Mahomes one's the one I'm always going to think of because and I know we were just getting to know each other at the time, but I was the guy that was literally going, no, this is the best player in the draft, and not that I'm having those type of conversations with Kyle Shanahan, but I do think about what if sometimes. And just go, man, what would they be like in that alternate universe you like to talk about if Patrick Mahomes was on the San Francisco 49ers with Kyle Shanahan and the team that him and John Lynch have built the last few years. It's I think it could have been very, very special.
I think Kyle would have more than 0 and Patrick would have more than 1.
I would agree with that too. Right. I would agree. Yeah, we'd be talking dynasty. That's what I would think.
There was a point where you were discreet about this, but Kyle Shanahan has since said it himself. He didn't even evaluate Patrick Mahomes because he was waiting for Kirk Cousins.
Right. I don't think it was like they were not thinking quarterback. And then at the time, I think there was only a few people who were really, maybe seeing, and I'm not trying to say I'm God's gift to the world here with evaluating, but I've been pretty good with the quarterback position. And as you know, I don't think a whole lot of people valued him as highly as I did or Sean Payton or obviously Andy Reid. I think a lot of the league was like, it's Texas Tech. It's a lot of yards, but can he really play? He almost seems like he's like a trick shot artist. Is he a real quarterback, sidearm and all these crazy throws? So, but that's why he's special, because he's changed the thought of quarterbacking here in the last 2 years. Now we're like, if you can't throw it sidearm and do this on the run and throw it across the field, damn, we don't even want to draft you anymore. So it was an interesting set of events there, and I do think that, yeah, you're right, and I think we know that, I know that Kirk Cousins was on the radar. He was comfortable with him, and I think he thought he was going to get him, after that first year in San Francisco.
I think it's one of the lessons to all coaches of all teams at all times, and general managers and owners, because the owners ultimately set the agenda, and they can tell the people who work for them, maybe you should evaluate all the quarterbacks every year. And I think that's the message.
Yes.
Evaluate all the quarterbacks every year as if you need one, because you may find one that is better than the one that you either currently have or the one that you plan to get, or both.
Right.
And it could change everything. One guy could change everything. And I've got a lot of stuff in Playmakers about Patrick Mahomes, but you're right. It was Sean Payton, who loved him and kept his mouth shut. Andy Reid, who loved him and kept his mouth shut. Mike McCarthy.
Yes, I've heard Mike McCarthy.
Him in Green Bay, loved him and kept his mouth shut.
Right.
And they came, tell the story, and Sean Payton has separately told this as well, that Drew Brees is in the draft room with some of his Purdue buddies. They're getting ready to take Mahomes with the 11th pick.
It's an amazing story.
You know, Sean Payton says to Mickey Loomis, we better go
tell Drew because his heart's about to go into his
neck. Maybe taking a quarterback here.
Right.
And I know that they've kind of softened it by saying, well, we really wanted Marshawn Lattimore. If he'd have been gone, we would have taken Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm not buying that one either.
If he was there at 11. They were taking Mahomes if he was there at 11.
Right.
And they would have gotten Alvin Kamara the same damn draft. What a draft that would have been.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.